Hey guys, good morning. Happy Friday from here in Connecticut. It is 4 o'clock a.m. now. I made one video already. I got to 15 minutes and I ran out of space. I was going to put it up, but you know what? I've got more and more subscribers now. I'm very thankful for that. And I want to give you guys a good video, a good product. And I don't want to give you something that was just cut off where I didn't finish my thoughts. So I had to go back, erase all my storage, and start a new video. So we'll see how this goes. This is right from the gut. Uh, okay, yeah, it's 4 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. It's going to be a warm weekend here. We're going to hit 65 this weekend, and that's exciting. Even though it's going to be a lot of rain and clouds, it's still a great thing. All right, I want to talk about Virginia because in my mind and the gun situation there. We're coming up to January 20th, and I remember in my head that that was a not a deadline, but I don't know if that when the new Congress is going into effect there. I know that there's more or less a deadline coming up, and I want to talk about that. I did some research into what now, there's a lot of paranoia. There's a lot of fear that people's guns are going to be taken. There's these bullshit rumors that the governor's going to turn off the power and the phone service so the government can rush in and take the guns. And that's bullshit. I think most of you guys could figure that out. So I wanted to see what this Congress has in mind for gun legislation. I remember three things off the top of my head. A red flag deal where they flag people that are dangerous, that are either a danger to themselves or other people. This is also the criteria. I remember back from my drug using days when I would get locked up in detox. This is the criteria to be locked up, to be committed to, if you're a danger to yourself or others. And I see that as a good thing. People that are a danger to themselves or others shouldn't have guns. Now I know that people are going to say, well, the government could use that, could label a whole slice of society as unfit. Let's just hope. Hopefully, I believe in our lawmakers enough, even the current administration, enough to think that they wouldn't do something like that. I don't know if that's naive. Anyway, and then there's a law about buying one gun a month. It sounds somewhat reasonable to me. I grew up with weapons. My father was a gun collector. I don't know if he bought more than one gun a month. He might have. So we're gonna have to make the people of Virginia are gonna have to make compromises, I think, on both sides. So it doesn't sound like a particularly bad compromise to me. I don't know if that involves gun dealers. That would be a problem if it does, because obviously gun dealers need more leeway than that. Now, onto assault weapons and the ban. That's a problem. I saw some descriptions that were just ridiculous with revolvers and shotguns. I don't know who or I don't know if this was true. If there's actually congressmen that think that are considering those things as assault weapons, they should have never been voted into Congress. If that's the case, I grew up with shotguns and revolvers. That's non-negotiable. As far as I'm concerned, they should never be outlawed. These are just basic tools. We'll talk about the AR-15. I know enough about weapons. I know semi-automatic, automatic. Like I said, I grew up with these weapons. The problem with the AR-15 is it's such a good, efficient weapon or gun or whatever you want to call it. For somebody who has lost touch with society, who starts considering society as an enemy and considering evil things, the AR-15 comes to mind as a very efficient gun to do evil things. Somebody with a broken mind, I could see how they would picture going into a large group of people with an AR-15. That's the problem. Is it's a very efficient. I'm guessing it holds what 10, 15 rounds comes to mind. I'm not sure. then you could have multiple clips in your pockets. You could do a lot of freaking damage. The problem I see, though, is there's already millions of these guns out in society now. How can you outlaw them? If I owned guns and people outlawed them now, even an AR-15, I would seriously not want to hand it in. I could take both sides on this. I consider myself a Democrat, liberal. But on this, growing up with guns, I understand. This is just a point we've come to in America. We have broken people in this country, and for the foreseeable future, we're going to continue to have these broken people. We can blame movies, we can blame video games, but that's pointless now too, because these movies and video games are already out, and there's no taking it back now. The cow's out of the barn. If this was part of the cause, then it's too late, really, to do anything about it. We are where we are right now. Millions of guns out already. Society and the mindset that we're in already. So what do we do about this? It's a tough question. I don't have a lot of answers this morning. Outlawing assault weapons, and then you got to determine what an assault. Obviously, fully automatic weapons should not be in the hands of regular folk. Semi-automatic, I can understand people's position in the fact that they want to protect themselves against the potential of a King George situation against the government. From here in Connecticut, I just don't see that as a very likely scenario. The government overextending its reach and trying to enslave us or whatever. But then I started taking the other side. I started thinking about the Trump administration and my displeasure in them. And then I started thinking, it's like, well, what if Trump, what if he started saying large blocks of society are an enemy right now, which he's almost done a few times. The media, California, liberals in general, he's almost considered enemies. What if he organized his own militia, or the army or whatever, into corralling us liberals? Would I want to fight that? Hell yeah. At first I say hell yeah. But then again, I'm of the mindset that I'm getting older and whatever happens, happens. I'll cross that bridge if I come to it. I don't have a family and I'm older, so I'm at the point in my life where I focus on the good. I focus on positive, and I believe I bring that into my life by focusing on that. Now, I remember when I had guns, I had 30, 40 guns in the house, and I did think about violent situations or bad situations more often when I had those weapons available to me. On one hand, you would think that having those weapons would give you peace of mind, but the more I thought about this, the more I don't really believe it. Sometimes I think it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. People, when you have all these weapons, you start stockpiling for, just to be on the safe side. I think sometimes you bring into reality where your mind is. The more you think about something, the more it becomes likely that future is going to come into fruition. Law of attraction, some people call it. And again, that doesn't help much with Virginia and the situation there. The best thing I can come up with, and then there's good guys with guns. That kind of scares me because I think all human beings are fallible. No matter how good a guy you are, everybody has a breaking point. A good guy that loses his wife, loses his family, loses his kids, loses his job. Some people, back surgery, starts taking painkillers. And this shit happens where you get a good, strong individual and everybody has a breaking point. So I got to admit, even the best men are are capable of hitting a breaking point where they'd be unpredictable with a weapon, and that's what worries me sometimes with this good guy with gun theory. I don't have a lot of answers this morning, you guys. I really don't. I don't think outlawing guns at this point is a doable solution. There's millions of them out there. I think mental health is a good idea. I think people speaking up when they see people around them becoming a possible danger. And I think compromise, most of all, and talking to each other. Honestly, I know it's probably not the flashy solution you want to hear at the end of a video, but compromise, man. Sitting down, both sides, sitting down, talking about your fears, your priorities, and hammering out a freaking compromise. There you go. That's what I think. And that would put an end to it, and it'd probably result in a decent compromise. So that's where we're at today. We'll see what happens in Virginia. I just wish everybody health, hope, and happiness, and have a good weekend. All right, take care.